Okay, I'm gonna bring the audio in now. Let me know if this sounds all right. There won't be music the whole way through, I promise. But tiny desk and a lot of things on it right now. So just let me know that you're hearing everything all right. Ghost in the mirror, you finally made it. It only took three tries, but you're here. KC, good to see you. Sinatra, definitely Sinatra. Yeah, it's so hard to pick. I probably have to choose Sinatra, don't I? Because I have a Sinatra tattoo on my forearm. Yeah, I'm pretty much Sinatra for life, I guess. I wasn't drunk when I got it either. Isn't that amazing? But welcome to the live stream, everybody. I gotta record this. I get to record this audio for our upcoming video in January. I've already got the a little quiet. Is that for the microphone? Oh, good. That's good that I can look and you don't know I'm watching. Ha! Okay, how's this if I sit closer to the microphone? Is that all right? There's lag, so I have to wait. But this is going to be the audio for the January video. I've got the audio recorded for next month's video. Next month, more like 2 weeks. Wow. This is crazy that we're getting all of this content out. We're finally doing it. We're getting more videos out faster, and I hope they're not losing quality. So, all right. Well, let's see. I'm trying something new. Where I got this thing called Camlink, where I should be able to live stream through my camera. I got a new computer because the other one killed itself after what was it? Was that 500? The 500 subscriber special? And so it killed itself. Bringing the audio up. And I probably shouldn't go high pitch when we do that. But all right, here we are. Hello, everybody. Here I am in stunning HD. If you can call it stunning. So yeah. So this is... Oh, well, thank you so much. And Brendan, welcome. That's weird. You know when you meet other people and their name is kind of the same as yours? Oh, it's so weird. It's so... Ugh. And I'm slowly figuring out how OBS works. So now it looks like on your screen, like it's completely full and that I'm here. But I can actually keep YouTube up and I can read your comments. So it's not like I'm ghosting you. Because the old method of setting up my laptop to the side and then posting comments and nobody was commenting back, to me anyway, just because the computer wouldn't reload it. Yeah, that's done now. So now I'm not alone. And I don't feel like I'm just speaking into the void. But yeah, so this is for high society, which I figured. So, okay, let me restart. There is a lot going on. We're doing, on top of the movie, which we have to jump back into, we're doing for the 1,000 subscriber special. I'm working on it. We've got the venue and we've got the charity, but we're doing a What Went Wrong live, and it's going to be in an auditorium of 400 people. Will we fill it up? I really hope so. I'm very hopeful, but it's going to be crazy because we're doing What Went Wrong live. And so it's going to be, I don't know if anyone's ever tried this, but it's going to be the same format as the other What Went Wrong videos, where it's going to be, you'll see the video going on, but then down here in the corner, you'll see me telling the story as it's happening on the screen, which I'm very nervous about. That's a lot of lines to memorize, but I'm super excited about it too. And it's awesome because we're partnering up with, don't kill yourself, please. You've got so much more to give. But we're partnering up with a local after-school program that was really instrumental in keeping me off them streets, let me tell you. No, but it was really instrumental in just opening up my horizons and letting me try new things that I never really would have gotten to try otherwise. And it's great because it's for kids all the way from elementary to, they just started doing it in the high school level too. And they just lost 2 of their grants. So money has been a little bit tight. And so I figured what better way to celebrate the 1,000 milestone, assuming that we get there. I hope we do. Have your friends like and subscribe. But what better way to do that so we can celebrate the milestone and then also help out the community too. As for the show, okay. So I should probably just get this out of here right now. Caitlin, I will answer your question. I promise this is going into it. So there's this thing called Kappa, and I don't really know like what to say about it other than it's gonna make things a little bit more difficult, but I don't think it's gonna. I hope it's not as bad as everyone's making out to be, where it's basically, and this isn't legal advice, and I don't know if this is completely correct. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Go research it for yourself. But it's basically that I think YouTube messed up something with their cookies, which those are the little data things that help advertisers track like what products to offer you and how to advertise to you to get you to buy stuff. And so YouTube messed up because they were using those cookies in a bad way, where they were telling advertisers, hey, kids are watching this content, put some kids advertisements on here. And so then the kid being like younger than 13, they would take their parents' credit card numbers and then they would go and buy all this stuff. And so the Federal Trade Commission wasn't having any of that. And so now YouTube settled, but in that settlement, it means that it means the creators are going to take the brunt, basically. And so what that includes is I know where they're coming from. Like, I can't be angry at it. But what that means is that if you have content that includes animated characters, includes vibrant colors in the in the thumbnail, then that means that you have to label the video as for kids. So that means like SpongeBob, the SpongeBob video, the Spider-Man video. It's this gray area where we don't know what to do, because sure, like Spider-Man is labeled like I have to label it for kids because it has animated characters. But that's one of the few videos where I like dropped the most F-bombs, because that was back when I was doing the podcast and I didn't care. And Ghost in the Mirror, this is slowly coming out. Like I said, look it up for yourself because I might have misspoken. It's my understanding of it. But so with that labeling, when you have to label it for kids, what happens then is that comments are disabled on the videos. Your videos, when they get posted and they're labeled for kids, your subscribers don't get a notification. Your videos don't show up in the suggested bars, and it basically just makes it a lot more difficult to see. And I get where they're coming from, because I'm a marketer in my muggle job. That's what I do. I do marketing and I do advertising, and so I get it. Like that's an abuse of their cookies and their power. But then it's also just this thing of like what's going to happen to YouTube after that, especially for like gaming channels or like KC. Like you review all those animated series, which is a great channel. Please go watch it. It's great content and it's fantastic. But she does like DuckTales, and so while it's heightened language and for like people over the age of 13, since DuckTales is in it, you have to label it as for kids. And going back to the Spider-Man argument, I have to label it as for kids, but I swear in it, and it's not for like kids. And so I'm hoping that they'll come around. I haven't really looked into it this past week, so things might have changed. I know a lot of YouTubers have been writing the FTC. I wrote the FTC about it, and I'm just worried because if there's no incentive to making that family-friendly content, which is what we like to do, because I like to think that this is shown in like college classes or in schools, although that's not what I'm intending it to do. It's just what's going to happen if there's not that incentive. YouTube, I'm afraid it's going to become a cesspool. Like I said in a joke to Jillian, who she's the new member on the team. We've been working together for a year and a half. I was saying, here's what we need to do with our videos now. When we open it up, we go, all right, what's up, mother? Welcome to Wait in the Wings! Yeah, we're gonna review some theater! Phantom of the Opera was one of the biggest musicals of the time, and then just keep doing it as normal. But just like get all the vulgarities out there right at the beginning, and then they know it's not for kids. But so coming back around to it, Caitlin, that puts us in a weird position for what we're doing with the What Went Wrong Live. And that is we're doing it on Zeusical the Musical. And so we're in this weird position where, like, by that time, COPPA is going to be in full effect, and it's dealing with the like Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham, and I mean it's for kids over 13, but if we open it up to the public, there's going to be like kids. I should cap it at 10. They can't cry at 10. Oh, that was one of the worst things about acting, was when you would just try to get a line out, and then it's just like, let me think, holy cabooses, and then just someone in the crowd just, we gotta get to New York, Cornelius. We gotta get, could you please be quiet? And then it's awkward because it wasn't a baby, and it's actually like a 30-year-old man. That never happened, but that'd be cool if it did. But all right, let's look in the mirror. The mirrors. I read your username. Okay, I know that Ghost in the Mirror is kind of a mouthful, so it's even more convenient by my name. I go by Abby. Oh wow. Hi Abby, I'm Brendan. Wow, breaking down the YouTube walls. That's what we do here at Wait in the Wings. And then let's see, Brendan. Yeah, I heard about this. It's really confusing. It doesn't seem like there really is incentive. And please open like that. Okay, I'm going to tell Jillian that it's canon. That's what we're doing. But yeah, there's just, it's this weird thing of like, it's laws made by people who don't really understand the creative side, the content side of YouTube, which I don't blame them. It's really hard to keep up. I've been making videos since 2010. Yeah, we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary. Oh my God. But like back then it was really cringy stuff. It's all privated. Nobody can find me and my cover singing Teenage Dream. But like I made content from 2010 to probably 2014 or 15 before college started. And then I left, and then I came back, and everything has changed. Like, this is a completely different landscape, and it takes a lot of learning to figure out how it works. And but the FTC has been nice. Like, that's what's crazy, is that they've actually been, like, I think the FTC has been talking to the creators more than YouTube has. YouTube just gave like a list of really vague terms. But that was a really long answer to, we're doing Zeusical, but I just felt like I should tell you about that because it's not like I can't pretend it's happening. And so that explains, like, don't be surprised if we're making more not for kids content. Just that maybe it does mean we open up with a big ol' F-bomb. I'll change my name. I'll do like a DJ. What's up? It's Brendan motherfucking Henderson. Just like that. And welcome to Wait in the fucking Wings. Like, just, we'll change the username to Wait in the fucking Wings. How would you suggest that to your friends? Hey, I found this theater YouTube channel. Oh, cool. What's it called? Wait in the fucking Wings. Whoa, dude. Didn't need to come at me that hard. But, okay. So let's see. I need to do this this dialogue. But so we're doing the January video right now, as I was saying. Where'd the words go? The December video is already recorded. I've been working on that, like putting the music and everything over it. So that's coming out on the 16th. Any other housekeeping things I need to talk about? Oh yeah. So I know this is one of the this is one of, like, once in a blue moon I do these live streams, but I want to start doing them more. And if you've been liking the live streams and this beautiful community that we're starting to grow, and I love it. That's why I try to respond to every comment I can. Granted, a lot of the times I can't, but I always try to, because I just love this community that we're growing. And so in an effort to break down the YouTube wall even more and to really keep creating that community that's focused on growth, encouragement, and just a safe place to talk about all things theater with people who actually understand it, because it's such a niche thing. Not a lot of people understand it. Like my parents, I say, "Wow, American Psycho is opening," and they're like, "What?" That came out in 2000. I'm like, "You don't understand." But we've got the Patreon going. I've been hesitant to start pushing the Patreon because I didn't really think there was anything worth like going over there for. But we're gonna start doing these live streams as we're recording the audio. I think every like 3 weeks or so is when we record the audio. And then we've also set up a Discord community too, where I'm hoping that we can have like theater book club, or if you need help with monologues, if you're an actor, if you want to talk about like the new casting in Dear Evan Hansen, which is fantastic. If you want to talk about the new James Bond trailer that just came out today, that I absolutely have been counting down to since Sunday. And I didn't think they were going to post it this morning. I thought I was going to have to wait till 5, but oh my gosh, it's amazing. But we've opened up the Patreon. We've got deals starting at like $1. And that just gets you like, that's also the best place to vote on videos. And if you want to recommend videos, that's the best place to do it. And if you do the $3 tier, then that opens it up to the live streams, and you get to join the Patreon as well. The Patreon, the Discord, I think. Let me check on that really quick. If not, I'm going to add that right now. Oh, buddy. I didn't add it, but I'll add it right now. See if I won't. Oh, goodbye. Join the exclusive Patreon. So there you go. Special just for you. And then I'll add in the... Oh, no. Oh, no. I disconnected the whole Patreon. Not the whole Patreon, the whole Discord. Select a server. Wait in the wings. Authorize. Okay, we're back. So after all that work I did, please go ahead, at least go over and check out the Patreon. Let me know if there's anything that you want added on there. And, oh, that's weird. Wait in the Wings official? Run crew? That's weird. What's going on? Oh, I messed everything up. I messed every single thing up. Am I blushing? Let's see. Patreon bot. Roll. Wait in the Wings official. Okay. Now we should be rolling. Okay, there it is. Okay, it's launched. Yay! Welcome, everybody. There we go. We got that all sorted out, and I don't look like I'm new to this world. Okay. All right. So, there's the spiel. Check out the Patreon. Subscribe to KC Reviews. Bada boom. Bond looks awesome. And yes, I agree. He does look like the Phantom of the Opera. What irony. Well, you gotta pick the best villains. Which also, if you need a really cool video, I found it last night just stumbling around. It's Cats meets School of Rock meets Phantom of the Opera, which is I never thought I would live where I could see that happen, but I never thought I'd live in a world where I could see the Phantom give a high five. But as far as I'm concerned, that's canon. Okay. All right, that's enough talking. So, I'm going to try to keep looking at the comments as much as I can, but I have this really bad tendency when doing these live streams where I just start to ramble. And I'm not going to do that this time. So, thank you for coming. Thanks for hanging out. I will check back in if I don't keep like looking over. But keep the comments going in here and blah 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 blah. Here we go. Into the world. Okay. So, you're going to get a look into this is very personal. You're going to get a look into my vocal warm-up. I learned this in college and high school, believe it or not. But I've got my Organo coffee in the best mug ever invented. And here we go. All right. So, this is a vocal warm-up. It's called Trinidad. And the version that I found online, it's not really the same one that I always used, but we'll give it a try. And let's see. Maybe is there a way that I can turn off the music? Oh, is the music not going? Oh, awesome. Wow. Technology. Oh wait, but I saw a comment that I wanted to look at. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I've got to say that I really appreciate that this channel is a theater channel that actually covers real theatrical topics. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I'm just happy that people like learning about the nerdy offbeat shows that aren't Hamilton. Okay, here we go. God, this is gonna be so embarrassing. Like, this is ultimate vulnerability. Like, people I went to college with, they would have to be like, "Excuse me while I go get into the scene. I'm an actor." And I'm just doing it right here, right with this. Here we go. Do vocal warm-ups actually help? I just dive right in when I'm recording. With the amount I paid for tuition, I like to think that they do. I don't know. It helps for me because, like, when I'm recording, my voice really tightens up. And so, either way, you'll be in for some... if you want to do them along, go find Trinidad and the Big Mississippi on Google, and we can do this together. Okay. All right. Time to go to work. Clocking in. Gurney. Just loosen up. All the muscles, all the tension. This helps with word burgers if you, like, when you're talking and then like that. You just stretch everything out. And then we'll do some peanut butter on the roof of your mouth. Open everything up. I'm sure that sounded great in the microphone. Trinidad and the Big Mississippi and the town Honolulu and the Lake Titicaca. The Papata capital's not in Canada, rather in Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. Ooh, a lot of tension in the stomach today. Oh man, what have I been doing? Whew. The Papata capital is not in Canada, rather in Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. Hoo boo 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 boo. It's not in the list, but I just added it. It's my own, it's the Brendan method of hoo boo boo boo. Try that out for your next show. Hoo boo boo boo. What are you doing? Oh, it's the hoo boo boo boo. Cool, where'd you learn it? Oh, it's this it's this theater channel called Wait in the Fucking Wings. Hoo boo 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 boo. Canada Moligo Remedy Brindisi. Canada Moligo Remedy Brindisi. Canada Moligo Remedy Brindisi. Yes. Tibet, 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 Nagasaki, Oklahoma, Nagasaki, Oklahoma. Oh, what to do to die today at a minute or two till 2. A thing distinctly hard to say, yet harder still to do. But to beat a tattoo at 20 till 2, a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tattoo, and the dragon will come when he hears the drum at a minute or two till 2 today at a minute or two till 2. All right, everybody, do it with me. This is the classic. Aluminum linoleum, aluminum linoleum, aluminum linoleum. Ooh, ah, I-E-ah, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Unique New York. Unique New York. Unique New York. That's good for the soft palate. I think I know where that is in the mouth. I do. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm so impressed that you guys stayed. I was guaranteed that would, like, drop it. I can literally feel the atmosphere of a dressing room. Yep. Welcome to my dressing room. The Wait in the Wings dressing room. So then after you do that, what I like to do is I do there's the spoon. God, I was looking for that. So then what I like to do after doing the gurney and the Nagasaki, Yokohama, is just do a check and keep a diagnostic of what's going on in the body. Like right now, I can tell that, and it's always been a thing where all of my tension is just right here in the stomach, and I keep it too tight. And it's funny because back when I was in the acting program, what would happen is that, like the professor, strictest professor there, she came up and she's like, you have to loosen up. Like, why do you look so tense? And then she like touched my shoulders and she's like, oh my God, you're the tensest person I've ever touched in my life. I was like, I got a lot going on. But now like the tension has moved down into the stomach. And so you just want to like massage it, open it up, and just really drop down in there. Okay. Okay. All right. And that should be enough. Probably do some more, but let's pull this up now. And I want to welcome you. Let's see if it's registering, if you can see it. You can't. That's funny. Can you see it now? This is supposed to be Microsoft Word. And this is the entire script that I've gotten written. Oh, I know what's going on. Oh, duh. Okay. I can't let you see that script. Because that is, that's like the real one. What is happening? Window title must match. What? Window title, other... Okay, I'm just gonna do this. That's incredible. That's so funny. Let's just do, and it's gonna get weird for a second. Display capture. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so here we go. So now you should be able to see it. Crap. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to. Okay, I hope this works. Okay, let me know if you can see my my screen. I'm gonna have to jump back for a little bit just to make sure that you can see what's going. Oh, okay, you can see it. Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm off the chat line for a little bit. Okay, so here is what the scripts usually look like for a video. This is going to be a Lost from the Limelight video because I haven't done one of those since Beatlemania. So I think I should do that. On average, the scripts are around, I like to keep it no more than 12 pages because once you get past 12 pages, then you're in dangerous territory where you're obviously saying a lot, but none of it probably matters. Like SpongeBob. The SpongeBob video was originally at, let me see if I can do something. Can I move this underneath there? And oh my God, this is such a disaster. Remove that. Yes. What the? Oh, I get it. Okay. Oh, hey, that might work. Cool, we'll just go with it. No, it won't. That won't work because then I'm going to block the entire screen. I'm going to go like right. Wow, this is the trippiest thing I've ever seen. Okay. Maybe. No! Unleash me. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so SpongeBob video was about 20 pages. And when I gave it to Justine to look over, she said, look, there's a lot of stuff in this. She didn't say good stuff. She just said there's a lot of stuff in this. And then she proceeded to cut out probably about 5 pages. And I mean, looking at everything that she cut, I get it. Because as much as I want to rant about Bono, you don't really need to. But that could be a different video of comparing and contrasting SpongeBob and Spider-Man, because it's like things just went so different for both of them. But let me just go through and make sure that everything looks okay. I get really self-conscious about my writing because I'm like, am I just boring? And it's like, is this content that they're going to actually like? I wish I could find a place to talk more about Louis Armstrong, but he just doesn't have that big of a role in this movie. I got to find one where Louis Armstrong is just the lead and then talk about that. Okay. let's go from here. I'm gonna highlight that. All right, and any questions you have about this, let me know too, because I'm fitting to switch back to views where I can read the comments. Okay. And then here we go with the bold. That means there's gonna be a video clip there of some sort. And I actually got that from doing the producer's video with KC. I had never done that before, and I don't know if she introduced me to it or what, but I've loved it ever since. Okay, it's such a big script. How much do I need to get through? Because I don't want to start from the beginning. I can't give you everything because then you won't watch. By George. This is what I needed to work on. I need to work in a stupid joke. By interrupted by George. By interrupted by George. Now, just know that he's tall and walks around with a stick up his aster bar. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I need to. Yeah, aster bar. Take that. That's not kids content. We're edgy. Okay, so with that, I think we're ready to go. So I'm gonna start right here. I'll highlight that guy. Unhighlight this, because I think we can get more in. It's not giving away too much, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, I don't know. Oh, this would be interesting for you guys to hear, because I want to know what your take is on this too. Understand the actions of her father's affair. Okay, we'll start there. Maybe. That's still the same page. I didn't move anywhere. Star system. Okay, let's do that. Let's start from there. I think that's about a halfway point. Okay. So one last weird little thing, and then I'll pull up audition. And now, oh, I hope you were able to see all that. Okay, let's see. I'd love a rant about Bono, like a 5-minute video just about Bono. Oh, we cannot give him that satisfaction. Here's a funny thing is, and this is a Wait in the Wings live stream exclusive, I'm trying to introduce a character that is just so pompous and gets everything wrong because I want to make fun of people that I know like that. And I think that it would be really fun to introduce a character like that. So maybe his name is Lord Carlisle, and I'll have you know that he won Best Character Actor at his state drama competition, and he is the best actor to never get any work. It's coming. And when it does, it'll be huge. But maybe we could just do a huge thing about Bono with Lord Carlisle. I don't know. Let me know if you want to see like a stupid funny character, or if not, because we've been talking about it. May have bought the costume. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so that's something. This is an unrelated question, but what's your favorite era in musical theater? 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Ooh. You know, I gotta give it to the golden age of musicals. So that's like the 30s through the mid 50s. I really think it ends with High Society. I think that was the last great golden age musical. But that just does it for me every time. Like Fred Astaire. I love Fred Astaire. I had my grandma get me tap shoes for Christmas when I was like a sophomore in high school. I attempted to tap, and I learned how to do the flick, and then I was like, well, I quit. But I love Fred Astaire, love Bing Crosby. Like I said, here I can show it off. I've got the Sinatra tattoo, so I gotta be Sinatra for life. But yeah, really golden age. Singing in the Rain. Oh, beautiful, perfect movie. All right, everybody. So let's dive in and let's start recording this. Okay. And get ready for a word burger right off the bat. All right. So I've upgraded. I'm not using Audition, or I'm not using Audacity anymore. I'm now using Adobe Audition. Okay. All right. Okay. We're just going to record it straight through. And now you get to hear me jump into YouTube voice. Okay. The personas would add a certain aesthetic quality to the films, and in turn would make it easier for the studios to exploit their personalities in the marketing and promotion of the film. The star system is in full display in high society, as, sure, the performers have been cast as different characters, but in essence, they're still portrayed as their personas. Grace Kelly had become synonymous as a woman with a cold exterior hiding an elegant but relatable authenticity underneath. You could honestly take Kelly's performance and transplant it in any other... Just like that. You could honestly take Kelly's performance and transplant it in any other... Yeah, I think I'd take it. I think that works. Okay. You could honestly take Kelly's performance and transplant it in any of the other films that she's appeared in, such as Rear Window or even The Country Wife, which she had appeared in a year prior to High Society. The same goes for Bing Crosby. In the film, he's playing C.K. Dexterhaven, but in essence, what audiences still see is Bing. It's the same soft-spoken, underdog romantic that people had come to identify as the Bing Crosby persona, created in films like Holiday Inn and White Christmas. Perhaps the best example of the star system is the Perhaps the best example of the... Okay. Perhaps the best example of the star system persona, however, is in the... I couldn't find where it was in the script. And that's called improv, ladies and gentlemen. Improv. Always say no. Then you win. Okay. All right. Nope, don't go there. Perhaps the best example of the star system persona comes in the performance by Frank Sinatra. When we're introduced to Mike Connor in the first part of the film, he appears in his signature gray suit. That doesn't make any sense. When we're introduced to Mike Connor in the first part of the film, Sinatra appears, because that is confusing. Perhaps the best... That's a good take. Okay. Star system persona comes in the performance by Frank Sinatra. Let me know if that's too loud, too, because I can certainly bring it down. No one's yelled at me about it yet. But let's see. Yes, thank you. The Golden Age of Musical Theater is my favorite as well. It's the best. If you don't overuse it, it could be a great character. Okay, got that noted. I'm definitely an 80s mega musical person. Man, you'll have to like name off some of the musicals from the 80s because I don't really gasp. I don't think I know that many. That's not Saturday Night Fever. That's like the 70s. What happened in the 80s? Is that like, what happened? That's Carrie. Carrie the musical happened in the 80s. That's the only one I know. Because Xanadu wasn't written in the 80s, was it? Huh. Improv. Always say no, then you win. That needs to be on a t-shirt. Okay, we'll start the merch line. Coming right up. If we start a merch line, I've decided that the first line, like the first phrase that's gonna be on it, is your consequences have actions. That's what it is. Because there is not a single day where someone doesn't comment that on the Spider-Man video. And I'm like, I shouldn't have been so lazy, and I should have gone back and edited that. I tried editing it before, but it just sounded horrible. Like I tried to rearrange the audio because I didn't want to reconnect the microphone, so it just came out as. But he soon learned that his actions have consequences, and it was so bad. But yeah, that's gonna be the first T-shirt.
Comes in the performance by Frank Sinatra.
The end. The performance by Frank Sinatra. When we're first introduced to Mike Connor, Sinatra appears in his signature gray suit and black fedora. This is the same look that went on to define the Sinatra brand, and which would be seen on all of his albums, Rat Pack films, and eventually would prove to be an important advertising style for Jack Daniel's whiskey. That's not to say that the star system was ineffective, however. When we're introduced to Mike and Liz arriving at the palatial estate, they provide a great juxtaposition to the upper-class characters and lifestyles that we've been exposed to. They help to bridge the gap between the mega-rich and the common folk. Sinatra's boyish charm works great for the role, as he openly mocks the ridiculousness of the upper class, and has some fun with the residents in the process. I stammered. Sinatra's boyish charm, it was all right, I guess. It was okay. I like movies. I laughed. Come on, Brendan, be professional. This is theater. What are you doing? Okay. And the common folk. Sinatra's boyish charm works great for the role, as he openly mocks the ridiculousness of the upper class, and has some fun with the residents in the process. The gap is further bridged by the hijinks that soon follows. Tracy is less than enthused about the reporters coming to cover her wedding, knowing that they'll have preconceived notions as to what it means to be wealthy. So, she decides to have some fun with them. This results in one of the funniest sequences in the movie, filled with absolutely over-the-top comedy and some of the sharpest dialogue that the movie has to offer. It starts with Tracy's younger sister appearing in a tutu and then playing a horrible French rendition of Little One, which had been off the rails. With Tracy's younger sister appearing in a tutu and then playing a horrible French rendition of Little One. Which had been performed earlier in the film, only to be shooed out by... That doesn't make sense. Brendan, where are your commas? Horrible grammar. Which had been performed earlier in the film. She does this only to be shooed out by an absolutely eccentric Tracy Lord. The scene is filled with hilarious lines that surprisingly still hold up today, especially if you have a dark sense of humor. Let's see. The scene is filled with hilarious lines that surprisingly still hold up today. Lines that surprisingly... Nice. The scene is filled with hilarious lines... The scene is filled with hilarious lines. The scene is filled with hilarious lines that still hold up today, especially if you have a dark sense of humor. Tracy dials the lunacy of the upper class up to 11 and tries to shoo them off with a beautiful sense of condescending ignorance that showcases the absurdity of status. Soon, the two reporters can tell that they might have bitten off more than they can chew, and it's summed up in one beautifully poetic line from Mike. Upon Tracy and her mother re-entering the scene, the reporters begin to inquire if Mr. Lord is coming to the ceremony, to get a picture of the family united. It's an interesting scene because both Tracy and her mother quickly change the subject and don't acknowledge his existence at all. However, now knowing this is what the photographers want, Tracy throws her Uncle Willie under the bus to pose as her father for the sake of the photo. This leads to... Boo. Thank you for watching. This leads to... Beep it deep deep boo boo. Maybe the vocal warm-ups don't work. Okay, let's go back. Let's see what's going on. Don't get into this debate with me or I'll kill you. Little Shop of Horrors. Wow. Oh, gosh, I'm an idiot. Of course Phantom came out. That's like Phantom Cats. Man, that's despicable. How did I not know that? Ah, shucks. So do you only do one take of a paragraph, or do you record multiple takes? It depends on how it's going. If it seems like it flowed okay, then well, I usually do just do one recording. And if I mess up, then I just stop and I go back and I delete it and then I just try it again. Because I was finding when I was just doing like the multiple takes, or where I would keep it in there, where I'm like, the so-and-so musical was a bit of the... Gosh, dang it! The so-and-so musical, like I'd have to go back and I have to cut that out, and then I just have to listen to myself and laugh at how upset I got. So this is a lot better. So yeah, just one paragraph until I usually go until I mess up. Like the last video I did, I think I got through like 15 minutes and I didn't stammer, which, man, that'll never happen again. I should have live streamed that one, but I cannot because it is a surprise it's a big musical that we're covering.
However, now knowing this is what the photographers want.
Okay. So going off the theme of Golden Age movie musicals, there's a lot to choose from, and there's a lot that a lot of people might not know about. So I'm going to test you really quick. What's your favorite Golden Age musical that not a lot of people know about? So that means you can't do Wizard of Oz. You can't do Singing in the Rain. Yeah, I think that's it. I think those are the really two big ones. Those are the really two that I can only think of. There's probably more, and I probably just offended so many people. But what are they? Sound off in the comments.
Scene because both Tracy and her mother quickly change the subject and don't acknowledge his existence at all.
However, now knowing that this is what the photographers want, Tracy throws her Uncle Willie under the bus to pose as her father for the sake of the photo. This leads to some mix-up hijinks when, unexpectedly, Tracy's father has returned to the family, forcing him to pretend to be Uncle Willie. This leads him to a state of confusion, and it sets the stage for him to explode later at the pool. We soon find Mike and Liz in a room surrounded by silver trinkets as they embark on the incredibly fun number, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? What was that? It was like Regis Philbin. Who wants to be a millionaire? I'm Regis Philbin. Yes, I'm still alive. Final answer?
We soon find Mike and Liz in a room surrounded by silver trinkets as they embark on the incredibly fun number, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
What was that? God, did Regis ever do musicals? I'd watch that. Sing once again for me, a strange duet, Kelly. I'm Regis Philbin. Ah! It's probably not what he sounds like at all. This is going off the rails fast. I'm the Phantom. I'm the Phantom of the Opera. Make your choice. I choose wrong. Final answer. And then he kills him. Twist ending. Regis Philbin stars in Phantom of the Opera. Regis of the Opera. What am I doing?
Explode later at the pool.
We soon find Mike and Liz in a room surrounded by silver trinkets as they embark on the incredibly fun number, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Which highlights the absolute lunacy of excess. The number cements them as the outcasts of the story and explores the beautiful message that one doesn't need to be a millionaire. If they both have each other, then they're more than content. I honestly think this is one of the numbers that was just put in to have a fun musical number by Cole Porter, but it succeeds in another aspect. That aspect being showing off the beautiful set design of this film. The sets were all constructed on the backlot of MGM Studios, and they are absolutely lavish. The film had a huge advantage in being shot in VistaVision, where instead of running the film reels through vertically, it instead ran it through horizontally, which in turn created wider shots and was able to capture the full majesty of the various sets. They're glamorous and immediately help with creating a heightened fantasy that helps in providing a storybook-like feel to the movie. The use of the 3-color Technicolor process only elevates the design, making the colors look rich and vivid. You can literally pause this movie at any frame and it will create a glamorous picture. Okay, stop it there. Cool. Let's go over to the comments. Oh gosh, I like it a lot, but I like Guys and Dolls. Does like Bye Bye Birdie count? That's what I was wondering. That was made in the 60s, wasn't it? I don't know. The little known real ending of Phantom. Hollywood Summer Stock. What is Hollywood Summer Stock? Tell me more about that. It's not obscure, but Oklahoma owns my heart. Oh man, I've got an Oklahoma story, but I cannot tell it because that'll come back to bite me. But tell me more about Hollywood Summer Stock. Is that a thing? Is that like a movie? But like nothing obscure. Oh god, wow. I wanna know more about that. That sounds interesting.
Create a glamorous picture.
I don't know. Does Bye Bye Birdie count? Let me cheat. Let's use the internet. Bye Bye Birdie. Nah, I don't. No, it was made in 1963. I don't think that counts. Man, that's really close though. Maybe that is. I don't know though. Does that count as Golden Age? I think that's just once in a blue moon. Yeah. I don't think it counts. That's me though. I'm just one person, and my opinion can mean nothing. But yeah, 1963. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay. All right, where were we?
A glamorous picture.
By also changing the location from Philadelphia to Newport, Rhode Island, it created an overall different feel for this telling of the tale, which allowed for the use of the castle-like manners that had become synonymous with this location. The buildings are further highlighted by Tracy. After fleeing from the pool following her conversation with her father, she decides to take Mark. His name's Mike, buddy. Who's Mark? Oh, hi, Mark. After getting yelled at by her father, she says, "Oh, hi, Mark. Come here, let me show you beautiful manners." Oh, no. Only you, because you know three's a crowd.
Tracy. By Tracy.
Tracy. By Tracy. Who, after fleeing from the pool following her conversation with her father, decides to take Mike for a tour of the graveyard. The graveyard of the rich. Now, this moment gets a lot of flack because many people view it as a conceited attempt to gain sympathy for rich people. Wow, that's not right.
To gain sympathy. Because many people view it.
Now, this. Good, I can get rid of that big awkward pause where I was desperately trying to find the words.
Of the rich.
Now, this moment gets a lot of flack because many people view it as a conceited attempt to gain sympathy for rich people having to sell their homes for taxes, or worse, to be used as schools for children. But the sequence goes much deeper than that. It's not literally meant to be a look at... What? Wow, I turned into an Italian.
It's not literally...
I will read it to you as I wrote it down, where I just went full Sinatra. It's not literally meant to be a look into... What? That's not it. It's not literally meant to be... Oh, maybe... Oh, what? What? Wow, my dyslexia kicked in. I thought it said, it's not literally meant to be a look. But no, that makes sense. It's not literally meant to be. It's not... That sentence just doesn't sound right. It's not meant to be a... Hey, it's not meant to be a literal... La ba 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 ba. Hey, Mel. Turn it into a musical, huh? We'll make all the money.
Sequence goes much deeper than that.
Where'd it go? Oh, I lost it. Anxiety. It's not meant to be a literal look. Okay. It's not meant to be a literal look into creating sympathy for all of these beautiful homes being boarded up and forgotten, but rather, it's meant to be a metaphor for Tracy. The glamorous castles that were once elegant and full of life have since been forgotten and covered with years of underbrush and decay. The sequence climaxes when Mike and Tracy end their journey in Uncle Willie's bar. Mike, now seeing past the rich facade and seeing the beautiful woman underneath, soon realizes that he's falling for Tracy. And soon realizes that he's falling for Tracy. Man, why do I make it so hard on myself to speak English? And oh, that's so hard. And in an abrupt and in an anemone. Oh my god. And makes a... That'll be easier. Let me try it one more time. Soon realizes that he's falling for Tracy and God. It's tough. You try it. And in... Oh, man. And in... I literally cannot say this phrase. And in... I could just say in, and it sounds like I'm saying in an. And in. No, I can't say it. I gotta change it. All right, let's head back over to the comments. Ooh, lots of them. What's up, Thomas? Bring back Birdie. Wow! I'm so amazed that you referenced that. That was originally, back when this was like really first starting out, I was planning on doing one on Bring Back Birdie. But what did I scrap it for? I think I scrapped it for Bloody Bloody. Yeah, it was between Bringing Back Birdie and Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson and Rocky. So those three, and I chose Andrew Jackson. But well, now I have to do Bring Back Birdie. So props to you, Thomas. That's great. Bye Bye Birdie is like the oldest musical that I really truly care for very much. Any earlier, and I'd rather listen to Stream. Okay, I can get that. I'm still torn that like the first real movie musical is The Jazz Singer, and I'm just like I'm so torn about where I stand on that film, and that's a talk for a different time. Summer Stock is a Hollywood goldenish aged musical with Judy Garland and Gene Kelly. Okay, I need to Google this because I'm not gonna. Okay, I'll throw it out there because we're dealing with old. That's not the one where she sings like ring, ring, ring goes the bell, something, something goes the trolley, and then my heartstrings get plucked too. That's not it. Ring, ring, ring. It's like buzz, buzz, buzz goes the buzzer. And I remember hearing that at the Museum of the Moving Image in New York, and I laughed. Because like that was a line. Ring, 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 not banana phone. Goes the trolley. Oh my gosh, there goes my heart. Blah 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 blah. Hey, zing 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 went the zinger. Hoop 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 went the hoop. Blah 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 blah. What is that from? Okay, let me look at the comments. Can someone help me? That's Meet Me in St. Louis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow. Well, Judy Garland and Gene Kelly. I gotta add that on to the list right now. Wow. I promise I like him for more reasons than Michael Crawford. That's funny. Hello Dolly was the mid 70s, I believe, so probably not. Yeah, then you're just getting out of it. It's weird because it's like there were those few musicals that really like transcended, and maybe like some few that didn't really become big, like movie wise, until the musical came about, like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. I wonder what that was like when it first came out, and if it just got bigger because of the play. Oh, please tell me you're going to cover Rocky someday. I got to. I have to cover Rocky. It's so underloved. And Alex Timbers is just a fantastic director who I love almost everything he does. I still haven't seen Moulin Rouge or like listened to it because I'm afraid to. I'm so bad at this age of musicals. Don't worry, we all are. I only learn it because I literally like research it and I have to be exposed to it for like 20 hours of research. And it's great. Like now, anytime there's a theater category on Jeopardy, let's go. Let's do it. Ooh. Between that and Elton John songs, like Elton John lyrics, oh, I'm great. And Hello Dolly is so fun. And Barbra Streisand, like I didn't get it. I didn't get what the big deal was about Barbra Streisand because all I remember was like, do you remember how she was like, do you ever watch The Nanny on Nick at Night? And Fran just loved Barbra Streisand. Yeah, I don't think I really listened to my first Barbra Streisand song until I needed to listen to the music. I watched the musical version of Hello Dolly because I was cast as Barnaby in The Matchmaker. But oh my God, have you heard her sing Memory? I was listening to it in a hotel bar, and I just started crying. I was a couple drinks in, but oh man. But I'm planning on being a historian, so it's kind of bad that I know nothing about the 50s aside from the Cold War. I mean, was there really anything else? Like yeah, it was just mainly like nuclear warfare. Yeah, there wasn't. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I can't think of anything witty to go with the 50s because I don't really understand the 50s. All I know is it had to be good because that's still shaping how we live in America today. Bring back the 50s. Okay, let's head back in. If you're just joining us, welcome to me trying to get through the script as we go on tangents, trying to figure out what years coincide with musicals. Welcome to your theater history lesson. Okay. I don't even remember where we were at. How is it sounding so far? Is it sounding okay? I'm worried that it's like I'm getting into this like habit where like I'm genuinely excited about talking about High Society. It's like my favorite Golden Age musical. And I'm hoping that enthusiasm's getting through because I'm worried that it's like I've done so many of these now that it's just like blah 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 facts 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 blah blah blah. So let me know in the comments if it's sounding okay and if you're like interested.
Realizes that he's falling for Tracy.
Okay. There's my family. Realizes that he's making an and in an abrupt, where is it? I missed it. Oh. And okay, soon realizes that he's falling for Tracy and makes an abrupt about face from the opinion he's had of her up to this point. He confesses his feelings for her, and she soon realizes that she's attracted to him. Mike is able to see past her class and can empathize with her self-conscious, vulnerable turmoil. It absolutely plays into the magical folly that accompanies the fairy tale aspect of the movie musical, but it also adds another obstacle into Tracy's journey towards self-discovery, as she now has to choose between three very different men. There's Dexter, the hopeless romantic that has never given up on her and who is treated so poorly by her. Mike, the rough-around-the-edges reporter who views her imperfections as truly beautiful. And George, who views her as the peak of perfection and purity, but doesn't see her as a real person and is generally just the most boring character I've ever seen in my life. The drama intensifies as all the characters converge at Tracy's bachelor party, and the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol! Okay, let's do a couple takes of that. Alcohol! Oh my god. No. I'm so sorry. I don't know Music Man, because I thought Music Man too. See, that one's tricky because I think the movie came out in the 60s, but when did the actual when did the was it a musical first? It was on Broadway first, wasn't it? And I think that might have been the 50s. Who knows? It's so vague. It's like trying to figure out if you're a boomer, a millennial, or a Gen Zer. It's just all up in interpretation. Oh my god, why do I know nothing about theater in the 50s? Kill me. Would you talk to someone else the way you just talked about yourself? It's okay. You can't know everything. And it's good because now I know that I probably need to dive more into 50s to help you out. And it's I don't know that much about 50s. I only know about high society because I happened to see it at a movie night I went to at the old Palace Theater. But it's okay. It's okay. We're learning it together. So take notes because we're gonna have a big quiz at the end about what year did such and such music will come out. When the best. Okay, I'm gonna run this by you guys, and I need to know how to go about the best. What is it? What's the line? The best instigator and the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol. I need to figure out how to say alcohol. Oh, thank you so much, Caitlin. That's such a nice comment. And it was great talking musicals with you, too. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was great having you. Have a great night. Be safe. Make good choices, unless they're boring. Do all the drugs. Not kids' content. All right. Okay, so let's go through the different ways that I can say alcohol. Okay, we're going to play. And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol. I'm going to record these and we can go through and we can vote. Let's do that. And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol. And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol, baby! And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. The devil's juice. No, that doesn't work. And the best igniter of all conflict is introduced. Alcohol. And the best igniter of all... What? And the best igniter of all conflict is introduced. Alcohol! Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, get crunk. That's so stupid. I don't know. Is there anything usable in there? Does any of that work?
Best igniter
I'm gonna turn that volume down.
of conflict is introduced.
Alcohol, baby! That's how I talk to my cat. Alcohol, baby. Okay, I'm gonna put this over to the side really quick, and I'm gonna see the the recoil on that second options. Okay, we're gonna go through, and I'm gonna hold up my finger to each option, and you can comment below.
And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol. And the best igniter of conflict is introduced.
Alcohol, baby!
And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. The devil's juice.
Mr. Booze.
And the best igniter of all conflict is introduced. Alcohol.
It's nice and to the point. Okay.
And the best igniter of all what? And
That
the
doesn't
best igniter of all conflict is introduced.
Alcohol! Yeah, get crunk! Wow.
All conflict,
I do not party.
all conflict is introduced.
Alcohol! Yeah, get crunk! And I can like mix in like stupid sound effects. And I can do like like Sinatra's face, like boom, boom. Which could be really stupid. I could like add in some flares and I could make it just like a really big party. I want the first one because it sounds like my auntie. Thank you. Let's hear it. Let's see. Where was the first?
And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. The devil's juice.
That's not the right one. Which one was the first one?
The best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol.
Gives it like a drowsy chaperone vibe. If you're going to edit it like that, then yes. I don't know. Is it worth it? Would that be a good gag? Can I make a poll? Am I able to do that? Let's see. Is there a way to actually? Let me see if I can do that. And then mess everything up. How do I make a poll? I like the tone of the third one. Maybe do it that way again without the baby. Which one's the third one? That's not devil's juice, is it? Alcohol, baby! So we can make it sound like we can go like what's one with like a really good alcoholic character? What's his name? It's from Henry the Fourth Part 1. His name is like completely blanking me. But he's a good drunk character. We can go full August Osage County. Alcohol. Oh, that might actually work. And the best igniter of all conflict is introduced. Alcohol. Alcohol. Woo, doggy. Alcohol. Alcohol. The booze. Alcohol. 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 Al Capone. Oh, sorry. Alcohol. 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 Hey, bada bing, bada boom. Alcohol. I'm walking here. Alcohol. Okay, there we go. We got lots of options. I tried to go country. I tried to go Sinatra. I tried to go timid. There's a lot of different ways we can go with this. And this has completely gone off the rails. Mr. Booze. I think I'm going to throw that in. I think I'm going to throw in a Mr. Booze clip after that. Where is it? And the best instigator of all is found. Alcohol. All right. Give me direction. What should I do? Should I go country? Have I made this a bigger deal than it needs to be? Absolutely. But it's a good bit. So we've got We've got like country alcoholic. We've got alcohol, like yelling it, and then I do the Sinatra zoom. There's a lot of different ways we can go with this. And it's all on your shoulders. I'm deleting everything, though. Unless you want to hear it again. I'll wait for a second if you want to hear it again. It could go so many different ways. The drama intensifies as all the characters converge at Tracy's bachelor party and the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol. I still like that Sinatra zoom. Okay. That's one vote for Sinatra zoom. Abby, what do you think? Oh, that was Abby. I'm sorry. My glasses like my glasses mixed up like over this and it looked like it was KC. But that was Abby. KC, what do you think? And it's on a delay. So I'm just awkwardly staring. Mr. Booze. Mr. Booze. Wow, I did a lot of takes. I'm so sorry. YouTube is not receiving enough video. What does that mean? Sinatra zoom, my opinion, go for really enthusiastic. I think we can find a mix. I think we can find a mix of really enthusiastic.
Really just the most boring character. The drama intensifies as all the characters converge at Tracy's bachelor party, and the best igniter of conflict is introduced.
Wow. Okay. All right, here we go. Go for broke. And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Yeah, that's right. Alcohol! Woo! Yeah! Ooh, pa pa, ba dee boo doo boo! Yeah! Woo! Oh, too much. I'm getting sick. Oh god, too much. Try a Russian accent. Something that gives off yay alcohol. I want to try both. And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. The alcohol. Alcohol. The alcohol. And the and the best igniter of conflict is introduced. The alcohol. And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol. Nothing ever goes bad there. Cool. I'm keeping that. Keeping that one. And the best and the and the best igniter of conflict is introduced. The alcohol. Gives me like a SpongeBob feeling. It's like something that the narrator would do. 2 hours later, the alcohol. And the best igniter is introduced. Alcohol. It went below my register. Alcohol.
Into Tracy's journey towards self-discovery.
Whoa. Oh, I don't know how to. I can't translate Russian. Keep writing like that, and I'll be Russian to Google Translate.
And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Alcohol.
What the hell? And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Booze! Because nothing ever goes wrong there. says the alcohol.
And the best igniter of conflict is introduced.
I wonder if I can like really like hold it out really long and then do the Sinatra zoom with
Deuced.
booze. I'm gonna try it. Okay, this will be it. This will be the take. I guarantee it. Okay. And the best igniter of conflict is introduced. Booze. Because nothing ever goes wrong there. Oh my god. And that is a recreation. That is what it would sound like if I gave childbirth. Or passed a kidney stone.
And the best igniter of conflict is introduced.
Because nothing ever goes wrong there. Cut it right there. Nothing ever goes wrong
There.
Nothing ever goes wrong there. I'm not sure if the liquor was different back in the 50s, but over the course of this film, everybody gets absolutely trashed, especially Tracy. She's probably been drinking since 10 in the morning, and come nightfall, she is positively loaded. Let's see if that works.
This film, everybody gets absolutely trashed.
Theatrical propaganda during World War II. That's really interesting that you bring that up, because it's not really much in the like theater vein of it, but I was gonna bring up some of the World War II propaganda that because this marks like the first time that Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra are like co-stars, and they're on like this like same scene, same time. But the first film where they both appeared was a propaganda film for World War II that was trying to get people to buy Canadian trade bonds. And they appear at different sections in the movie, but they're both in it. So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wonder what that's like in theater. Huh. No, yeah. That'd be a good one. I'm not sure if the liquor was different back in the... That's stupid.
Is introduced. Best igniter of conflict is introduced.
Too long. Oh. The booze. Oh. Please, I promise I will perform better. Don't kill yourself. Okay.
Introduced.
The best igniter of conflict is introduced. Booze! 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 That's what I needed. Booze! Booze! The frickin' booze! The frickin' booze! The frickin' booze! 'Cause nothing ever goes wrong there.
Frickin' booze! 'Cause nothing ever goes wrong there.
Oh, I went all the way back to the beginning. Nothing ever goes wrong there. I'm not sure if the... Nope. I'm not sure if the alcohol was different back in the 50s, but over the course of this film, everybody gets absolutely loaded, especially Tracy. Now, she's probably been drinking since 10 in the morning, and come nightfall, she is positively smashed.
Best igniter of conflict and the discovery.
Mouse sound.
And the best I'm not sure if the alcohol goes wrong there.
Just really fine, like, fine balance of where do I cut this? Okay, let's try this guy.
Is entered.
Okay, zoom out.
And the best igniter of conflict is introduced.
That down.
Igniter of conflict is introduced. Frickin' booze! 'Cause nothing ever goes wrong there. I'm not sure if the alcohol was different back in there. I'm not sure if the alcohol never goes wrong there. I'm not sure.
Okay. Nothing ever goes wrong there. This is the cool thing about editing, is that you can try to make the comedic timing.
There. I'm not sure if nothing ever goes wrong there. I'm not sure if the alcohol was different back in the 50s.
Okay, I can kind of see it in my head of how that scene would play out. Of freaking booze, and then like zoom in on Sinatra's face sideways, like, or I didn't like where it's coming in and it's rotating. Freaking booze, maybe shake it, and then because nothing ever goes wrong there, jump cut, move on with the thing. Like that's how the bit would play out in my mind, and that's one that might only work with the music playing underneath it, and the editing of the clips. So that's my mindset on it. Let me know what you think about that one. Let's go back to the comments. Oh, wow. Okay. If you ever want to watch some World War II propaganda films, there's a series of them on Netflix. Oh, wow. Fun fact, the alcohol wasn't different, but the standards were. They were just off prohibition, immediately followed by a world war. People drink way more. Yep, that's right. Yep, I could see why. But going off of the propaganda, it's really I haven't gotten to really like dive around this side of Disney Plus, which I'm sure they wouldn't. But interesting fact, come the 40s, like Walt Disney Studios was in a really bad spot, and they were like completely out of money, almost had to declare bankruptcy, and almost had to shut their doors. But it was thanks to World War II and making propaganda cartoons that a bunch of money came into Walt Disney Studios by making those films for the government. And so then with that, he was able to make more of the animated movies. So Walt Disney Studios is the mega giant it is today, mainly based off of World War II and propaganda films saving their company. So there's a little bit of fun facts for you. I'm a wealth of Walt Disney knowledge because I accidentally read the 500-page biography last year. I didn't mean to. I didn't think I would actually I thought it was one of those books where I'd buy it and I'd like keep it on a bookshelf where I'm like, yeah, I read. But I started reading it and I just couldn't put it down and read it in like 2 weeks, which is amazing because I'm a really slow reader because I get distracted. But God, that's such a good one. Read it if you can. Oh, so good. Walt was also an avid kami hunter. That's okay. Okay, yes. But here's the thing is he wasn't doing it because he wanted to screw over all these people. I think Walt was just in a weird spot where like he was very patriotic and he really cared about the country. And so I think in his mind, he was doing the right thing.
Nothing ever goes wrong there. I'm not sure if the alcohol was different back in the 50s. Nothing ever goes wrong there. I'm not sure if the alcohol was different back in the 50s, but over the course of this film, everybody gets absolutely loaded, especially Tracy. Now, she's probably been drinking since 10 in the morning, and come nightfall, she is positively smashed.
Okay. Wow, we're almost done. In between the festivities, Dexter takes to the stage to remind us that he's a jazz composer, and with it comes... Oh, I gotta redo that. In between the festivities, Dexter takes the stage to remind us that he's a jazz composer, and with it comes an understated and surprisingly powerful number. Looking at it with 21st century eyes, it may just appear to be a jazz-filled musical number, but back in the 1950s, it had to be... Back in the 1950s, it had to be earth-shaking. The Newport Jazz Festival that is directly referenced in the film, and which proves to be the main reason for bringing Louis Armstrong and his fantastic band to Newport, was initially met with resistance by the wealthy members of the community in the real world. The festival presented the threat of a cultural clash due to a racist fear of African Americans invading their perceived section of the world. The film attempts to grapple with this issue in a played-down style through the musical number Now You Has Jazz. Turner Classic Movies has a fantastic article highlighting this scene in which they bring up how, over the course of the film, jazz is constantly joked about and looked down upon by a majority of the upper-class characters. They can't believe that C.K. Dexterhaven, one of their own, would stop writing meaningful songs only to start composing uncivilized jazz. In the 1950s, segregation and racism was still overly abundant in America. But for the moment, in this major studio film, there's a moment of unity amongst the performers and the crowd, brought together by the power of music. And to quote La La Land, following the number, Dexter's able to steal Tracy away for a second for his one last attempt at winning her back. Though he gets one last kiss from her, it's apparent that in her inebriated state, she won't remember anything in the morning. George reappears to remind us that he's in this movie, and carts her away from Dex, reminding him that there's nothing he can do to stop the wedding. He then pulls an evil stepmother and puts her in a room to keep her away from any threat that could arise from her being too social. When Tracy asks him to lay down with her, he reacts in disgust, and for the first time, his view on Tracy is questioned. We're then transported back to the Uncle Willie's section, and what? I don't want to go to Uncle Willie's section. Please don't make me.
We're then...
Okay, where am I? Okay, let's see. What am I trying to say? We're then transported back to Uncle Willie's. No, please. Not Uncle Willie. Yep. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. We're then transported back to Uncle Willie's bar. And for the first time in film history, we get to see an on-screen duet with Bing Crosby and I don't know, maybe I should Come the 1940s, Sinatra viewed as a bad boy. Ba, ba, ba. And how different they were at the same time. I'm wondering if I should throw in that section about the propaganda. How many? We're at 10 pages, so that's pretty short. Happened until nearly 10 years later in high society. Okay, I think I was able to work it in there. Let's try it. Tell me what you think of this one. Again, I was just about to reference La La Land. You're always one step ahead. Either that or I'm just a slow typer. I think we both just really like La La Land, Casey. It's probably like one of the best movie musicals of current times. And I don't care if that's like a basic comment. You cannot watch that movie and not tell me that is not art. Same with Greatest Showman, man. Give that movie some more love.
We get to see an on-screen duet. We get to...
All right, Casey's leaving. Ooh, more videos. Yay. All right, well, thanks so much for coming. It was great having you. Have a good night, and I'll keep an eye out for the videos. Everyone go subscribe to Casey Reviews. It's a really good channel, and she's just an all-around great person, too, if my words mean anything. Okay. Okay.
And for the first time in film history, we get to see an on-screen duet with Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra. This is my favorite sequence in the entire film, and it's amazing to dissect. Bing and Sinatra are interesting in how similar their musical careers were, and in how...
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this section.
The entire film. And it's amazing to dissect.
Oh, I love this section of the movie.
Amazing to dissect. Bing and Sinatra are interesting in how similar their musical careers were and how different they were at the same time. Now, the two had appeared in the same World War II propaganda film promoting the buying of trade bonds back in the 40s, but they never shared the screen with each other at the same time. This wouldn't happen until nearly 10 years later in high society. Growing up, Sinatra actually had a picture of Bing Crosby on his wall and cited him as his first idol, and that he always would be. Bing was always known for his warm, intimate tone that came with the mastery of a new instrument called the microphone. He was always viewed as the grandfatherly figure that was able to reassure and calm with his voice. Come the 1940s, however, Sinatra became an overnight sensation, garnering an avid female fan base that would scream for his masculine mastery of his vocals. This was a reaction that Bing could never get. Soon, it was only natural that a phony feud between the two began, with Sinatra being viewed as the wild bad boy, while Bing was the holy, righteous figure. The two would trade fun back and forth at each other, with Crosby calling Sinatra a loser and Sinatra poking fun at Crosby's receding hairline. But in reality, they always had a tremendous admiration and respect for each other. Bing would go on record stating, "When I heard the whispers about you and me being bitter rivals, I just smiled." This is part of what makes watching the two perform Well Did You Ever so Well Did You Ever so Well Did
This is part of what makes watching the two perform Well Did You Ever so much. What? Well did you ever?
To perform.
Ooh. To perform Well Did You Ever so much fun. Once again, not because we're watching the characters perform together, but rather the two personas and performers having an immense amount of fun. Their two types of singing styles also complement each other very well, if I have to say so myself.
Performers
Duh.
having an immense amount of fun.
All right, let's see. This is the greatest show. All right, I'm leaving. Wow, that sounds similar to Bette Davis and Joan Crawford. Yeah, that's true. Except the two of them actually hated each other. Yeah, that's true. Oh, I've wanted to dive into that rivalry for a while, too. That's a bitter one. Their two types of singing styles also complement each other tremendously. Bing was known for having a smooth baritone style that rarely went into the extremes, or bravura. What?
That rarely went into the extremes.
I don't need that last section. Barely went into the extremes. It was pure and sweet, while Sinatra's was much more alive, vibrant, and often
Was much more.
And this is the section that I wrote at 2 o'clock in the morning.
While Sinatra's
was much more alive, vibrant, and often included more shadows and coloring. From a story perspective, this works for both the characters, as Dexter is of the upper class world, while Sinatra is of the lower middle class. It also helps with serving as one of the first times they cross paths and spend time together. Mike starts by calling out Dexter for loving Tracy and yet not really knowing her. Pretty bold statements, and that puts Bing more or less on guard. And yet, thanks to the alcohol, the conversation soon strays to rumors and gossip that shows that even though they might both be interested in Tracy, it doesn't mean that they have to be enemies, and they both discover that they thoroughly enjoy each other's company. The two get absolutely trashed together, and ultimately, more or less, become best friends. It's always so fun to just watch this scene on its own, because while the characters are supposed to be having fun, it's contagious due to the performances of Bing and Frank. Imagine how cool it had to be for Sinatra to finally be able to perform with one of his idols in an absolutely ridiculously fun drunk scene. The crooner meets the swooner. It's an archiving of two great performers, and one that I'm so happy exists to live on for generations. What?
Of two great performers.
And one that I'm so happy exists to live on for generations. If anything, this one scene is the main reason this film should not be forgotten. Tracy decides that she wants to go somewhere and dance, so she tries to sneak out of the window, only to be caught by an equally inebriated... Ooh, baby, that's a word. All right, let's head over to the... Ooh, my gosh. Where'd it go? All right, now that you've got me thinking about the 1950s, would you ever do a video about the effect the Red Scare had on theater? Incidents like the Hollywood 10 and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. That would have to come later on down the road, I think. Because we still have we have a lot of musicals that we still need to go through too. But I think definitely going down going down the road towards the future, I think it could be interesting to dive in more on that. I'd have to really research it, just because that is such it was a very politically fueled time, and there's probably a lot of important facts in that. But yeah, it would educate. That's the main. Here's the main thing that we were trying to do with the channel, is that we really want to create something that we focus on. When picking topics, we need to make sure that it's educating and that it's shining the light on new or obscure like plays and musicals too, without like while also being able to dive into the popular ones, but in a different type of way, a way that goes against the low hanging fruit, if you will, of like 10 reasons Hamilton rocks. Like that's nah. I was actually joking with Jillian the other day about like because I don't want to do list videos because I think YouTube is filled with too many list videos and they're probably the easiest things to make and super clickbaity. And I was saying that we should do like if we're gonna do a list, it has to be the stupidest list ever, like top 10 musicals to include the note A, or like top 10 musicals that feature Lin-Manuel Miranda playing a founding father. Number 3, Hamilton. Number 2, Hamilton. Number 1, In the Heights. And just stupid stuff like that. But yeah, as far as the Red Scare goes, it was a very interesting time, and you know, a lot of powerful plays came out of that. The most obvious one being The Crucible, which still holds up today, sadly. Like in a scary sense. Like it still can hold up today. But no, yeah. That'd be interesting. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. All right. Okay. What a swell.
Only to be caught by an equally inebriated.
Equally inebriated. Okay, this whole, let's see, how far away are we? We're on page 8, 9. Oh, there's only 9 pages. Oh, wow, we're almost done. Wow. And that's at about 15 minutes. And I split this about halfway through. So that'll bring it 30. Yeah, it's like I was saying, I was trying to keep it simple and like an easy one to make because when the next video goes up, like we have to instantly jump in and we have to get the other one ready to be posted in January. So then January can just all be dedicated to that live show too. And like we said, we're going to be live streaming it too. So it's so exciting. I'm so nervous. We're going to make a set and everything for it.
Window. So she tries to sneak out of the window.
So she tries to sneak out of the window. So she tries to sneak out of the window. So she tries to sneak out of the window. Where is it? So she tries to sneak out of the window, only to be caught by an equally, oh my god. Only to be caught by an equally inebriated Mike. And the two decide to flee the party together and find themselves back at the pool, furthering another key moment in Tracy's reflection of what she faithfully wants in a lover and who she needs to be with. Now, as much as I love Sinatra, even I can tell that he's not the one that Tracy should end up with. It's a relationship built purely off of lust, and this is evident by the fact that their feelings of romance only seem to appear when alcohol is involved. This scene does mark an important part in Tracy's journey, however, as it shows that she isn't completely sure of her relationship with George, and that she... What? And that all she really wants is for someone to see her as she truly is. Mike sees her as a true human being, and he can see past her bronze exterior. The physical attraction is still the leading force of their affair. It's complete lust, not love. The two go for a swim, and then we find Dexter walking Liz back to her room. It's in this exchange that we learn that Liz is absolutely in love with Mike, but still feels he has a lot to learn and that she doesn't want to get in his way. However, if someone were to show up, she wouldn't hesitate to claw their eyes out. Dexter then makes a discovery of Tracy's shoes and jewelry, and in an absolutely amazing stand-up move, he hides them from George and tries to save the wedding, as well as tries to save George and Tracy from absolute embarrassment. Enter Mike and Tracy, completely loaded. Dexter tries desperately to get George to go inside, saying that things aren't probably what they appear to be, and even tries to give Mike a way out by saying... He gets Tracy and Mike out of the firing zone and tries to talk George down, arguing that he's sure the intention is innocent and that she's not going to remember anything in the morning. Mike reemerges and starts rambling, to which Dexter rushes the door and punches him in the face. Not out of an act of vengeance, but rather as a way to protect him from getting seriously injured by George. Dexter tries to figure out what happened, but Mike is cut short once he loses his consciousness. Okay, stop it there. Cool. That was a good round. Head back over to the comments. I love that about this channel. I almost can't stand those types of Hamilton fans. Videos are the only ones you can really find about musical theater. I really think that we need to do the Lin-Manuel Miranda list. The list Manuel Miranda, as we'll call it. Okay, let's see how that. And that's where I hit the thing. But has anyone here seen High Society, or is it really just obscure? Because I was like under the impression like someone had to have seen it. But let me hear. Sound off. Yes. Once he loses his consciousness. Once again, thank you so much for letting me into your life for this amount of time. I'm really happy that like people are commenting and that the community is growing. It's just very fun for me. It's like I'm hanging out with friends, and I love it. But Mike is cut short once he loses his consciousness. It's nice being able to like talk to people while I'm recording, because the dangerous thing about YouTube is that you're spending a lot of time by yourself in a room with the lights off, locked, while you're like just like, I gotta get this content up. I gotta get this video going. And then you're just like talking to yourself or talking to your cat, which I'm shocked that Chester has been so quiet tonight. I figured out what it is. It's like when he starts meowing, it's either A, I want food. And if he starts meowing at the door, it's like, hey, if you're not going to play with me, I'll find someone else to do it. And so I think like once I like use the stick and play with him for a little bit, then he like calms down, becomes quiet. All right, here we go. Last page, ladies and gents. George arrives. Oh, wow. Whoa, that's not right. Okay. Oops. Once he loses his consciousness. Come the next day, everyone is hungover. And Uncle Willie does a spot-on performance of what I act like after a... Let's see if they could hear that. Yeah, performance of what I act... Wow, you couldn't. Okay. Come the next day, everyone is hungover. And Uncle Willie does a spot-on impersonation of what I act like after a long night of drinking. Now, the entire wedding is in jeopardy, with no one actually knowing what happened the night before, especially not Tracy. She had been drinking for over 12 hours, so you can't blame her for reaching the point of blackout. Slowly, the pieces begin to come back together, and Tracy begins to think that she's made the ultimate mistake in sleeping with Mike before her wedding. George arrives, and now, with his view of perfection that he had associated with Tracy tainted, he contemplates canceling the ceremony since she wasn't the perfect bride that he wanted her to be. Soon, the pieces of the previous night are fully put into perspective. Ooh. Soon, they're put fully into perspective. The ceremony, since she wasn't the perfect bride that he wanted her to be. God, George sucks. George is just the worst character in that whole movie. Like, how can a person just be that like boring? Ugh. I hate George. All right, let's see what we got. Do it on April Fools. That's what I was telling Jillian. Was like we do an April Fools video like that. Top 10 musicals to feature sheet music. I haven't, but I also don't watch things from the 50s that isn't propaganda I'm studying. Speaking of being able to catch these things, I'm afraid I've got a blast. It's been super fun, and I'm actually really excited to see the finished video. Well, thank you so much for coming, Abby. And it's so cool that I know your first name now. We're friends. But thanks for coming. It was great having you. Have a great night. Remember to live truthfully in those imaginary circumstances. Blah, 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 blah. And as for the propaganda, let me get more confident in my opinions. And then we can do it. All right.
Since she wasn't the perfect bride that he wanted her to be.
All right. Perfect bride that he wanted her to be. Where is that? Okay. Eventually, the events of the previous night are fully put into perspective as Mike steps forward and states what actually took place. Tracy regresses into her old way. Tracy regresses into her old ways by getting offended and accusing Mike of not sleeping with her because she was cold, to which Sinatra counters with the most beautiful line. See, even back in the 50s, there were boundaries. That would be a good line. See, even back in the 50s, there were boundaries. Now knowing that Tracy didn't sleep with him, George continues to decide... What? George continues to... George decides to continue the wedding. But now, Tracy has completed her journey of self-discovery and realizes how unfair she was towards Dexter during their marriage. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way. Right? Those days. God, I don't... Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. God, that's just gonna constantly remind me of Hannah.
Dexter during their marriage.
Nobody can be perfect. And if anything, mistakes are necessary for growing and learning. She tells George that it would have meant more to her if he had married her if he had married... All right. If he had married... Maybe it didn't sound that bad. Okay.
Tells George that it would have meant more to her
if he had married her because of her mistakes. Okay. I went too far up. Crap. Married her. Her. Because she fell off the pedestal, and because she wasn't worthy of him. She wants to be loved, not worshipped. George wanted a perfect woman, but there's no such thing. In this full circle of discovery, Tracy realizes that she could never love a perfect man, and that the beauty of love and marriage is about compromise and working together. And so with that, Dexter, who never gave up attempting to win back Tracy, and who now sees the beautiful, compassionate woman that he fell in love with has returned, convinces her to marry him. Upon reconciling with Dexter, she also reconciles with the most important relationship that made her so cold and unforgiving in the first place. She reconciles with her father. She apologizes for being viewed as a disappointment, to which her father responds that he never did view her as such, and never will. With the lovely with the with the lovely line, "Help me off the pedestal." The story and character transformation are completed as she finally gets her true happy ending. High Society is not the type of complex or dramatically fueled musical work that many films and stage productions that came after it would be. But in fairness, it didn't have to be. Where High Society thrives is on the power of its simplicity. While we live in a post next to normal world, so many of us judge a show based on its ability to tell a powerful, complex, and dramatic narrative that. What? Okay, I need to switch the. So many of us judge. Okay, just give me that section. World. Post next to normal world. So many of us judge a show based on its ability to tell a powerful, complex, and dramatic narrative that we ultimately forget what a musical is supposed to be at its core. It's supposed to be a vehicle for an escape from the society we live in to a world that's filled with beauty. What? That didn't make sense. Next. While we live in a post next to normal world, where so many of us judge a show based on its ability to tell a powerful, complex, and dramatic narrative. In doing this, we forget what a musical is supposed to be at its core. It's supposed to be a vehicle for an escape from Dang it. It's supposed to. Okay, back it up. Supposed to be at its core. It's supposed to be a vehicle for an escape from the society we live in to a world that is filled with the beauty of music and the whimsy that accompanies it. This is why the golden age of movie musicals and why High Society worked. Sure, there might not have been a deep theme and it might not have tackled issues like families falling apart or someone being ravaged by drug abuse, but sometimes it's just nice to have a simple, fun, entertaining love story that achieves its premise of proving that true love isn't as perfect as the fairy tales make it out to be, and that nobody can ever legitimately be expected to be perfect. I look at High Society as the bookend of the golden age of movie musicals, and a love letter to the films that had come before it, performed by some of the most beautiful and talented performers to ever live. As far as the film goes, sometimes it's nice to be able to remember the charm that can come with escapist entertainment that succeeds in what? That didn't make sense. Performed by some of the most beautiful and talented performers to ever live. As far as the film goes, sometimes it's nice to be able to remember the charm that can come with escapist entertainment that succeeds in transporting us from the troubling or stressful times we're living in to a lavish world of music and love. The beauty of this type of musical is absolutely in its simplicity. End of story. And that's it. All right. So let's see. So with that, what did you think? How was that? Was that all right? Yeah, give or take. It's hard because I wrote this like coming up for the live show. Like we're just back to back, boom, 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 and so it was literally like I finished writing the script for the next video, and then we jumped right into High Society. So this last weekend, altogether, I probably wrote like 22 pages of scripts, and that's a lot. and a lot of research that went into it. But we got to do it. So then January is just streamlined. But yeah. So that's it. That is all she wrote. This was really fun. I had a really good time. And again, this community that we're building is just beautiful, and I love it so much. And again, if you want to break down that YouTube wall even further, head on over to the Patreon. Starts at like $1 a month, and it really helps us out with the expenses that are coming from making the channel better and trying to enhance the quality to the best that it can be without, like, we don't want to sacrifice that indie edge, though, that indie spirit, so it's never going to be too polished. But yeah, a lot of time goes into these. It's probably like per video, it's probably 80 hours of work. So yeah, but come on over to the Patreon, support the channel, join our Discord through the Patreon, and remember to live truthfully in those imaginary circumstances. Chester sends his love.